Well, good morning, Dirtfish friends. It's reasonably early, it's reasonably chilly, but we're excited, aren't we? It's the first opportunity to have a little talk to the drivers before the opening stage of the day. What do we have today, folks? 6 stages ahead of us, 121 kilometres. This man is first on the roads. Let's grab a very quick word with Elvin. Getting his helmet ready. Elvin, a great start last night. What are you hearing about conditions this morning?
Yeah, a bit mixed.
Pretty much the same. Any ice around?
Yeah, sure.
I don't think Elvin had good luck. Elvin is always one, first thing in the morning, who just takes his time. He has his routines, doesn't really want to be interrupted, and we absolutely respect that. Co-drivers, the same job in the morning, checking tyre pressures, making sure the blanks on the front of the car are removed. What have they got? Round about 10 minutes now before Elvin and Scotty head into the stage. Have a look at this. Look a little bit different this year on the Toyotas. Obviously the livery is totally different and I totally love it. We've never had before the flags of the nations on the air intakes, but we have that on all the Toyotas this year. I think it looks great, it really does. Now, what is Scott doing here? They're just taking the covers off the spare wheel there. That's a used spare wheel as well, that's interesting. Choices are softs or super softs. They are going to have to use the super softs at some point, but the weather is relatively mild. Round about 4 or 5 degrees this morning. Let's have a look and see what's going on. Yeah, just securing it and taking the cover off. Here we go. Martin Videgi, Thierry Neuville just warming up. Going through his routines as well. Just watch what he does. It's the neck muscles, it's the hands. It's just flexing those muscles and tendons, getting them all supple, ready for the morning. Martin just checking the tyre pressures, putting a little bit of extra air in perhaps. Possibly. Quick word with Thierry. Thierry, obviously 1 or 2 little issues last night. Have you resolved those?
Well, I guess so, yeah.
What was it?
I don't know what was the source of the issue, but it was something with the throttle or whatever.
It's the same problem that I had.
Yeah.
What are we expecting this morning, Thierry? We saw the roads getting quite messy last night. More of the same today?
Probably yes. But it's a bit more predictable. The visibility is a bit better, so you can react earlier to it and just try to lose less time in the dirt.
So plenty of time still to get those 20 odds or 15 seconds I think you're behind. It won't be a silly push today, just a gradual push to try and get the time back?
Yeah, already not to lose too much and manage as good as we can our tires.
That's going to be the big issue. That is going to be the big issue, I think, today, managing. 5 minutes before Elvin Evans goes into the stage, managing those tyres. Softs, super softs. Softs would be the choice on every stage for the rest of the rally, but they are going to have to use super softs at some point. So managing the tyre rotation, getting the best out of those softs and super softs when you have them on the car could be entertaining. Now Oyt Tanak in Hyundai colours. Oh, hello. Sebastian Ogier behind him. Takasan, look at this, just look at, does it get much better? Looking through the cars to that glorious mountain range behind, absolutely thick with snow up on the top of the mountains. There's plenty of snow higher up, it's just lower down where we're struggling a little bit, but it looks quite magnificent. We've not seen those hills as snowy as that for quite some time. Martin just checking again. Really important, the job that the co-drivers do pre-stage, making sure everything's okay with the tyre pressures. Oyt just coming around to get in. Yeah, you can tell, it really isn't that cold. We're doing okay without gloves on, we're doing okay without hats on this morning. Quite often when you come to Monte Carlo and it's absolutely bitterly cold, you know, the drivers don't want to get out of the cars. They don't want... There's the champ. Good morning, champ. Yeah, you'll know an awful lot of these people. You'll recognise a lot of these people. There'll be schoolmates. There'll be friends of his family. What are we looking at here, Elliot? You're pointing something out to me.
So tell us about this, mate. What do you know about this?
What do I know about?
Underneath the car.
That's just a breather.
Yeah?
Yep, just a breather. Yeah, it's just a breather.
Anything technical you know on it? Or?
It's a breather. I'll take a breather. Good morning, Oit. Any chance of just a very quick word? Don't like to interrupt. Issues last night, Oit. Anything more you can tell us about those?
I don't know. This was exactly what it was. So nothing more.
Engine mapping we heard. Is that correct? Something had changed on the mapping?
I don't know if it's changed, but yeah, it was just not working.
Okay. But it's resolved now and you don't have to deal with that today, fingers crossed.
Normally it should be okay.
One of the scariest things, isn't it, when the throttle overruns as a driver? That's really, must be quite, particularly in the dark, in those challenging stages, difficult to deal with.
I mean, yeah, it's always like this. If something is what you don't expect, then it's a bit challenging, but should be okay today.
This opening stage, what have you heard about the conditions in it?
I don't know, like here, probably a bit damp and wet and all this.
Damp and wet, thank you very much, Roy. Damp and wet, that's what we're hearing. Sadly, not an awful lot in the way of ice and snow. There we go, Thierry Neuville heading into the stage. Yeah, not an awful lot. You know, we remarkably, as we headed into the opening stage last night, came through Sistron, headed up the hill. We had 17 degrees at 8:30 last night. It was just bizarre. I'm hearing they've had 28 degrees in Spain. I'm going to have a quick word with the champ. Don't worry, I'm just letting him get his stuff together. A very quick word. Good morning, champ. An absolutely glorious morning in your backyards, practically. What can you do today? Losing a bit of time last night. What can you do today?
Yeah, losing a bit too much for sure. So hopefully having a better pace, but let's see what we can do.
What do we know about these roads in terms of how polluted they get? Is there as much cutting in these ones as last night?
Yeah, there is like cuts, and when there is no snow, nothing like this for sure. This characteristic around here have a lot of cuts, so we'll find out what we can do.
Oh yes, we will. We'll enjoy watching the champ out in the stages today. As I say, we came past maybe 4Ks, 3Ks from here. We came past the end of the road that goes down to Sebastian's village, where his mum, his dad, his aunt, his friends still live. It's quite remarkable when you think about that. Rallying in your own backyard. Takasan. We kind of rally in Takasan's backyard, but not quite. Checking his notes. He has again a ritual he goes through, checking some notes at the opening stage, reminding himself of just what to expect out there. I quite like the silver roof as well. Have a look at the silver roof, Elliot. Is that silver? What would we call that colour? It's silver, isn't it? I quite like it. I really, really, really like the new Toyota livery. I wasn't so keen on the kind of... I understood the need for the boxy kind of corporate livery that we had for how many years? 5 years or so? But this is a racy livery. This is a proper, almost... Am I allowed to say it's a sexy livery? Am I allowed to say that, Elliot, cameraman? Yeah, he's shaking his head, nodding his head, shrugging his shoulders. He's not sure whether I'm allowed to say that. But it is kind of a sexy livery, isn't it? Yeah, I'm leaving Takasan to it. I'm not interrupting. Checking his notes.
Can you read those notes?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness me. 7, something 7. Stop. I don't know what that means.
Stopping the stage.
Stop. I can read that, yeah. Do you know what? It would be really good to sit down with Aaron and go through some of these notes at some point. It is a series of numbers and symbols and letters that only Aaron Johnson and Takamoto Katsuta will understand. Morning, Aaron. Everything good this morning?
Yeah, we have no time.
I know, I've got that. That's why I'm not interrupting you. A little bit of a short road section, this one, so the drivers are absolutely up against it. And when Aaron Johnson says there's no time, you listen. Andreas Mikkelsen, another one that experienced those issues yesterday evening with the Hyundai. Yet there is nothing scarier, as a driver. two issues that are mighty, mighty frightening. One, if the brakes aren't working properly and you're not stopping. The other, when you come off the throttle, you're expecting the car to slow down and nothing happens. It keeps going forward full throttle. That is very difficult, and there was an element of that going on in all three Hyundais yesterday evening. Yeah, we don't know. Don't know what caused it, but we think it was something to do with engine mapping. I'm sorry to keep going on about this, but just look at the front, the spoiler there. Look at the front of that. It just does look mean. It looks mean, it looks fast, it looks as if it's ready for business, that car these days, doesn't it? I love it. I absolutely love it. Do you know what? It surprises me it's taken a few years for them to get there, because to me, that screams GR. It screams GR Yaris, and we know that that's where Maurizio-san, the boss of Toyota, that's really where he's pushing this whole project. It's the figurehead. It's what sells those wonderful GR Yaris's. It's the look of this car, and that. What do you think, David? It's a racy-looking car. It's got to be worth 1/10 of a second a kilometre, that livery.
100%, Cole. We've been through the time and again. Black cars, clearly they work, don't they? It's. Do you remember Knight Rider when we were young?
Do-do-do, 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 do-do-do.
Exactly. Yeah, that's it. Totally. And it's a great, beautiful looking car. And like you were saying there, the roof just all adds to it.
I think someone has done a magnificent job with this. Let's see if we can grab a quick word with Andreas. Good luck. Here, Elliot. My favourite social media account. That's it right there. That's my favourite social media account right there. Torstein Eriksson. Go and look him up on Instagram. Beautiful pictures, beautiful stories, beautiful insights. Beautifully focused though. Now, Torstein Eriksson, is this his first Rally 1?
Yes.
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
Cole, what we're noticing, you've noticed there, it is really, really damp. And talking to a couple of the lads, there's more damp in this stage than I think they expected.
Oh, that is interesting.
What would you have done with tyres this morning? You know, if you've got limited numbers, you're probably going to take, it's quite an early start. Would you have taken a super soft this morning?
You might go strangely with two in the boot. Well, not
Yeah.
two, you'd put them on for the stage, the cold stage.
Exactly.
The damn stage, but two extra softs in the boot. You are going to have to use them, so, you know, it makes sense to use them.
And this is
Whereas-
like damp underfoot, isn't it?
Damp and slippery, yeah. Oh, hello. All good this morning, Andreas? Good, lads. Thumbs up from Andreas Mikkelsen. That went up very quickly, that bonnet. Let's have a look at what's going on here. Taka-san heading into the stage. What is it they're messing with? What are they? They never mess with anything. That was a very bad choice of words. What are they adjusting? Under there, there's a little bit of bodywork they're moving to get at some. What was behind there? Could you see that, David? Can't see what's behind that panel. But there's something that needs adjusting clearly. No, well done. Quick work, really quick work. All done. We'll find out in just 1 second. But yeah, as I said, a short-ish road section. The timing is pretty tight to get into this stage, and that's why we're seeing the co-drivers working hard, the drivers with not a lot of time to speak to us this morning. I love those helmets as well. Lovely helmets. All good, Torstein? Good. What is your Instagram account called again? How do we find your Instagram account? What is it called?
Right now, I don't know. It's a stage now, Colin.
He's right. He's so right.
Stage now.
Right, just Google it.
You are
Google
right
it.
that it was tight to get here.
Very tight, yeah, very, very tight indeed. And we've seen it with all the drivers and co-drivers running around. He's quite right. There's me being told off by Torstein Eriksson. I'll accept that. I will accept that. He's in the zone. He's in the zone. Look at these helmets. I do like these as well. I like that slightly matte look on the Red Bull helmets. Norwegian flag. It's quite a design. Again, a nice racy design. Fantastic. Now, what's Andres doing? Is he watching all live? Having a look. Yeah, let's just find out. Watching all live, just getting an idea of where the dampness is in the stage. Adrian's having a little look. He was very concentrated there. Well, now what's he doing? Now what's he having a look at? There's something concerning Adrian Formeau here. Just having a look at that rear suspension. I wonder whether he's felt something on the road section, hasn't he, David? Something maybe just not quite feeling right in the rear of the car?
Yeah, obviously there is something not quite right, but I would imagine just clicks. Something doesn't look too stressed, does he? But
no, he doesn't look too...
Fundamentally, though, Colin, it's not ideal. It's 0 degrees and to be lying on a cold floor.
Getting damp and a little wet.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, but these drivers are pragmatic as well. They know that there's not an awful lot they can do. So if there is an issue, it's kind of, well, let's have a look. If it's nothing obvious, then we just deal with it. We'll grab a very quick word. Adrian next into the stage after. Adrian, are you concerned about something?
No, just sitting, to be fair. We've changed something yesterday and I wasn't so happy.
We'll see how he gets on. There we go, next into the stage. So just settings. Yeah, as David said, he didn't look too concerned, but just double checking a couple of things there. So yeah, that's good to see, because do you know what? Formeau had a strong start yesterday evening, a really strong start. A lot of pressure on him. You know, there's really very little pressure on Gregoire Munster because there's very little expectation. You know, Formeau is the man who's had the year out, the year in Rally 2, the year in the British Rally Championship.
This is his event, isn't it? You know, 2 years ago he came here saying, this is my rally, I want to show the world. And, you know, you've got to absolutely throttle back and get to the finish here. This condition, Colin, is not easy.
I agree with you, David. I agree with you, because there's no consistency in the conditions. No, you know,
there's not, because we're in the shade here, so if we were in the sun over there, the road would have dried out. So again, it's a little bit predictable. You know where it's coming, and of course they've got the ice snow cruise as well. But still, it's never a nice feeling, is it, when the car starts to move underneath you? And
it's going to be really interesting. So there we are, folks. That is all of our... Well, actually, we've not talked to Gregoire, but I don't know where he is, to be totally honest with you. But we have talked to the majority of our Rally 1 crews. It is going to be a fascinating day. What can Elfyn Evans do? He was mighty focused when we didn't really speak to him, did we? What can Evans do? What can the chasing Hyundais do? Can Sébastien Ogier claw back some of that time he lost last night? Well, this is very much Ogier's opportunity. 121 k's ahead of us today, folks. 6 stages. It is going to be fascinating.